Hey guys, and welcome to Dr. Dastardly Stories. Now, today we've got one that everybody's been asking me for so many times. Can you please do this story? Can you please finish it? And it's called Help Me. It's about a little Macedonian girl who's traveling around America with her family when she's drugged and kidnapped, and it's all mixed up with an undercover cop who's a part of this whole thing. I it's a pretty tough story to tell. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you've been enjoying my stories. I'm going to be posting maybe 2 to 3 times a week on YouTube coming up, so please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications and enjoy the story. So here it is, the full story of Help Me. So a Macedonian family is traveling through America. After being out late at dinner one night, their little girl crawls up at the booth at the restaurant, suddenly wakes in the backseat of a car. Still dazed and disorientated, they pull her into the doctor's clinic. Standing there in the clinic, the little girl struggles to understand the language that everyone around her is speaking. The mother says, "Where's the usual doctor?" And the doctor turns around and replies and says, "He's not here and I'll be filling in today." Angry, the woman says, "I'm here for my daughter and she's sick. She has food poisoning from dinner tonight." The doctor leans down to the little girl and speaks in English to her and says, "Are you okay?" With no response. "She only speaks Macedonian," the mother says abruptly to him. The doctor looks at the mum and says, "Dobro," which is okay in Macedonian. The little girl's eyes light up as she realizes the doctor speaks Macedonian. He leans down and in Macedonian he says, "Are you okay? Have they hurt you yet?" The little girl replies, "No, but that's not my mum. I'm so scared." He looks up at the mum, who is confused and doesn't understand the language that's being spoken. And he just says, "You're right. She seems to be very sick." As he looks back at the little girl again, in Macedonian he says, "I'm a policeman, sweetie, and you've been drugged. My daughter has also been taken by these people, and I need you to go with them so I can follow them, and they will lead me to my daughter. Please, please help me. I need you to be strong, and I will keep you safe." The little girl hops down from the bed, and in total fear, the girl leaves the doctor's office with the woman. The woman walks the girl straight out to the car park. There's a car waiting out there. She opens the back door of the car and pushes the girl inside. She tells the man that's sitting in the driver's seat there was a problem. Luby, who's their contracted doctor, was not there as planned, and the girl's still goddamn full of these drugs. She says to the driver, "Let's just go, but beware, Marie's going to kill us. But we have no choice but to let this little bitch on the boat and get her there as fast as we can." As the car pulls out of the car park, the little girl looks back and she sees the policeman run out dressed in a doctor's outfit out of the clinic and to his car. She can see him follow them for like maybe the next 45 minutes, in and out of traffic, stopping, starting, taking off. As the little girl looks back through the window at the cop, whose name's Steve, she makes a hand gesture at him. But suddenly the trail is broken. A school bus pulls out and the car gets away. Steve's so frustrated he doesn't know what to do. He watches them pull away and can't do anything. She's gone. Finding his daughter, the hope of it is gone. As he sits there, he smashes his hands on the steering wheel, so frustrated with what's just happened. He's so panicked, his heart's pumping. He wonders how he can call the police. He can't even do that because he'll incriminate himself. He needs to find his daughter before word gets back to Maria, who's the ringleader of this whole thing and does all the trafficking, that he's part of it. He doesn't know what they're going to do with his daughter. He sits there thinking about the hand signal she made, as he's seen his daughter make that hand signal before. What's he going to do? And what's the hand signal? He sits there thinking to himself. As he's sitting there thinking about this, the kidnappers pull into Marina Del Rey with the little girl who's drugged, still drowsy in the back seat, asleep. There's an evil woman sitting up, standing in front of a large cruiser like a yacht, who's just waiting for them. She too is standing there with a little girl in her hands, holding her hand. The girl's like mouse, wide open, so scared. The woman looks totally evil. And the girl next to her is like frightened as. They get out of the car, and with the drug girl from the doctors, they walk up towards the marina. The little girl's still so drugged, and the woman sees this, the evil woman. She said, "What's going on? Why is she still drugged?" The woman that's out of the car explains to them about Luby, the contract doctor. He wasn't there. She said there was another doctor filling in. We didn't know what to do. She says the doctor seemed to speak in the same language as the girl, but he was so suspicious of us. Frustrated, the evil woman says, "We will not be able to sell her for the full price in this condition. You clearly injected her with too much of the drug when you took her from the restaurant. And now we can't balance the drugs because we don't have the right doctor. She's now fucking useless to us." The evil woman thinks about the description she just gave of the doctor that was filling in and makes the connection. She suddenly realizes that the fill-in doctor that they just saw was actually their inside cop named Steve. Steve has worked for them for years. I mean, you can't smuggle young children around the country without a dirty cop helping you. But they had suspected Steve had possibly turned on them, so they took his daughter. This betrayal from Steve was confirmed of the last delivery of the last couple of girls a few weeks ago. Steve, the cop, had refused to hand over the second 10-year-old girl after the first one went into the bedroom of a boat, and within minutes she was dead. The two men had assaulted her that bad that she died. So because of that, they took her daughter as an insurance policy, I guess. But Steve has started to interrupt their operation. The evil woman known as Maria smirks to herself as she looks down at the little girl that she's holding her hand and says, "Your daddy's done a really bad thing. This girl over here is now fucking useless to us, and you're going to take her place to our buyer." The evil woman pulls out a handgun and puts a silencer on it. She pulls it out and shoots the woman kidnapper straight in the head, straight through the eye, between the eyes, and says, "Sweetie, your dad's in big trouble." No more than 5 miles away, the cop Steve remembers the hand signal that his daughter always makes and knows that it means boat. He'd seen it at a school concert about the ocean and the sea. It has to be Marina Del Rey, he thinks to himself. It's the only place nearby. The evil woman drags the policeman's daughter back onto the boat by her hair and yells at the driver of the car to bring the drugged girl onto the boat as well. She instructs the two men who are already on the boat to carry the dead woman's body back onto the boat with them. Like a rally driver, the cop pulls into the Marina Del Rey car park. As he gets out, he sees that it's too late. He watches the two suited men carry a female between them onto the back of the yacht as it heads out to ocean. He quickly runs down the jetty, jumps into a smaller cruiser boat that a man is washing at gunpoint and pulls the gun on this guy. He demands him to speed after the luxury yacht that just left. With the policeman trailing about maybe 200 meters behind, he sees the luxury yacht leave the heads of this and starts to power out. He sees the two men on the back of the yacht at the lower deck. The two men have dragged the dead woman's body onto the boat using a 13mm chain, and they wrap it around the dead woman's waist. Using a D-shackle, they lock the end of the chain around her. The other end of the chain is then connected to a link that is coming out of one of the concrete blocks that is lined up and sitting along the back of the cruiser. With a simple lift, the two men push the concrete block off the back of the boat. And in turn, it pulls the dead woman's body straight off the boat and into the ocean. The policeman Steve's worst fears have just been realised, as he believes that the body they just thrown was his daughter into the ocean, and he believes that she's still alive, connected to the concrete block. With now only 100 metres to go, the yacht screams away, and the man driving the boat quickly gets to the location where they just dropped the body in. Steve quickly dives into the water. The man who is driving the boat is confused by what's going on. His boat has just been hijacked by this guy at gunpoint, and now this guy's just dived into the water like a madman. The man quickly uses the opportunity to move the boat away from the guy who's just dived in the water, which is Steve, right? Diving down to try and save his daughter. And he calls the Coast Guard and the police. After a few minutes, a police boat arrives and pulls up against the boat that is drifting, that's been hijacked, right? He's only 100 metres away from where Steve had just jumped in. Still trying to dive down each time Steve comes up, getting air, screaming at the top of his lungs his daughter's name. The police boat approaches with a warning over the speaker to let go of his weapon and hold his arms up. Without any protest, Steve just does just that, and he's pulled from the water. As Steve sits handcuffed on the police boat, a dive team goes down and searches for his little girl. No more than an hour later, police have cut the chain and pulled the woman's body up onto the boat, who was a bullet right through the middle of her eyes. Steve collapses as he realises that he was so close to saving his daughter's life, but now she's gone. While standing on the boat, Steve grabs a gun, puts it in his mouth and pulls the trigger and kills himself. No more than about an hour away by boat, a helicopter comes and lands on top of this luxury cruiser that Maria and the girls are on. A man gets out and some money's changed hands, and Steve, the cop's little girl, and also the drug girl are handed over to these guys. They get in the helicopter and the girls have never seen again. Now, it's a terrible story, guys, and I hate to tell these stories because it breaks my heart, especially this kind of stuff. I hope you did enjoy the story, though, and if you're from TikTok and you've been watching this series, it probably hasn't ended how you suspected, but I hope you did enjoy it for what it's worth, and stay tuned for my next videos. Love you all. See you later.